Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet Cory Fitz, who had some very big boots to fill because he filled in for the late, great Bob Kingsley, who hosted the Country Top 40 for 41 years. Cory's amazing journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I have to tell you, my next guest has a very incredible journey. He is a very talented young man, Cory Fitz. If you know that name, you are listening to the Country Top 40 with Fitz. And you have tremendous boots to fill because Bob Kingsley, who we all grew up listening to, passed away, and you were tapped to carry on.
No pressure or anything, right? And you know what's funny is, I have done radio in North Texas, so much of my life, and had even done my own country countdown shows. And I had this rule that if somebody offers you a job, you never want to be the guy to follow Seinfeld. Right. I think I told you that. You never want to be the guy to follow the legend, the guy who absolutely created it, who made this country countdown. So when Bob passed away, those conversations started, and I found out that, over the years, Bob had also wondered who should follow me when I retire, because at that time Bob thought, well, I'm just going to retire and we're going to find someone to host. So some conversations came up, and then after that I had some conversations with his dear wife, Nan Kingsley, and I think that Nan knew that I loved country music. I love the state of Texas. I was born and raised in Texas. And she knew, I think more than anything, that I loved Bob and what Bob had done for country music. So when he passed away, I knew that I had to take this position. And I knew that I felt I was the only one who could do this country countdown right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Who could continue to carry the tradition of the most impactful countdown in country music.
Absolutely. And for those people who aren't familiar with Bob Kingsley, and I can't imagine who you are, Channel 8 did a nice piece a few years ago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
He has one of the most recognized voices in country music, but Bob Kingsley isn't a singer. His deep voice has been heard on the radio for decades, and he's still broadcasting from Parker County. Todd Unger explains in this WFAA original.
Right on in the studio.
It isn't so much what he says, but rather how he says it.
In your bed.
That silky deep voice can belong to only one man.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 2, 1. What do you think?
Bob Kingsley wants you to know
I think we're ready when you are.
he's still going strong
Let the count begin.
for age 79.
I mean, I walk in that studio when I come in here on Mondays and I sit down, that theme starts, I'm there. And here we go. The tune's called Rich, and here's Barry Morris.
For 40 years,
Time to see which of the 40 biggest hits in country music.
Kingsley has been
I'll tell you someone else that is
the
just-
radio voice of country music.
Can he defend the high ground? I start finding people in my head that I know. And continuing our climb toward the top are either listening. Got a letter along those lines I'd like to read from Robert in Arkansas. Or listen to country music radio. And I start talking to him. After debuting at number 35 last week.
His aw shucks approach is legendary, and it's earned him plenty of accolades and time with country stars.
Boy, he is batting 1,000 so far.
The success is a far cry from when Kingsley first got behind a mic at Armed Forces Radio as an 18-year-old airman stationed in Iceland.
They tore a copy right off the AP machine and gave it to me, and I ruined it, man. At number 25 and holding.
He picked up the radio bug, though, and it kind of stuck to him, especially when he moved to disc jockeying and then America's Country Countdown, just as the country tunes were a-changing.
George Strait, And then, of course, in 75, there was Randy Travis, and everything changed. Song Love Without End, amen.
Bob underwent a major shift himself in 95 when he relocated to Little Weatherford, far from the bright lights of LA.
And I woke up in the morning and I saw all these horses come flying by the window. And I turned to my wife, I said, I think we may have found the area.
Cutting horses are his single biggest passion at a sprawling ranch outside of town.
All right, let's turn the spotlight on.
But his home away from home
He's just an ordinary guy who happens
is the custom studio
Sometimes things matter a lot.
his longtime team has been in for almost 20 years.
I think it's a play off like what they say online.
That's Sean Stutter, his producer since the 90s.
He's written some other songs too.
yeah,
But
He keeps a close eye on the show and the clock
Going a little fast.
during each Monday afternoon's recording.
We go to our biggest mover of the week.
The 4-hour program, now called Bob Kingsley's Country Top 40,
Now it feels a bit more normal to have a spot in the
is edited together later in the week and airs in more than 300 markets every weekend. But approaching 80,
I'm Bob Kingsley, and when
it's
we come
only
back,
natural to hear whispers of retirement.
that you'll join me again next week at the same time. And once
Ultimately, it'll be that cadence
you and I will count them down.
that makes that decision.
But you've thought about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If that happens, and of course it will, I'll be able to walk away and, say, it's been grand. Come on, buddy.
Not to mention a heck of a lot of fun. Bob Kingsley still coming to listeners every week
And off we go into the sunset.
from Weatherford. Todd Unger, Channel 8 News.
That is a good
Interesting.
life and a good place, I tell you.
I mean, I didn't know what he looked like. I've heard his voice for years. Bob Kingsley.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's the neatest
That's the
story
guy.
right there.
Parker
Huh.
County, home
Closer
of all
than you
the
think.
great peaches.
How about that? Huh. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So he enjoyed the kind of day that we had today.
Huh. Yeah. That has me. I mean, I've listened to him. I can't remember not listening to him. So that's neat. I had no idea he was
long
out there.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
And Cory was telling me as he was watching that piece that you are in the very same studio.
So I was doing Dallas radio and I was working at the Wolf in Dallas. And over that time, they offered me an opportunity to launch a radio station in the Northwest called the Seattle Wolf. So I got to live and do a morning show out in the Seattle area for a long time. As I was doing my country countdowns up there, and I told you Bob passed away, Nan Kingsley, Bob's wife, knew that I was wanting to get back home to Texas and be closer to my mom and dad in Bowie, Texas. And she said, you've got to use Bob's studio. And I said, let's do it. So we started looking for homes. We found a home out in the country near Weatherford, close to my mom and dad's house. And now I am doing the Country Top 40 at Bob Kingsley's original CT40 studios right there in Weatherford, Texas. I am in his room. You saw where his dog Nash was sitting.
Yes.
Nan Kingsley had a demand. She said, listen, promise me one thing. You got to bring your dog with you every single time.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, I haven't done that yet because she donated the studios to Weatherford Junior College. And I didn't want to make the staff at Weatherford Junior College upset by having my dog pee everywhere. So we're not there yet. But Nan said that was Bob's happy place. And because Nan has let me use Bob's studio, that's my happy place too.
Yeah.
You
Well, and I love the reverence that you use when you speak about him because you're not replacing him. Nobody could replace him. You're carrying on his tradition. Talk about your mindset as you show up to work and do the show. What are you thinking? I mean, this is really carrying on a legend, isn't it?
I mean, I'm really thinking that I am in a place where history was made. And I always have Bob on my mind. Even, Nan Kingsley says, all right, go to your studios, go do the show. But when you're walking in that place, even on the outside, it says Studio B, right? That's Studio Bob. So, I have Bob Kingsley on my mind. I think about that this is the most impactful countdown in country music. And now it's my job to carry that torch, right? Mm-hmm. To play the hits. And so many on my previous shows, if you're a host of a show, a lot of times it's you got your name on it. It's Fitz this, or
Right.
Here's the Fitz files coming up in the show, or whatever it might be, or it's Fitz in the morning. But I've really adapted with this. The Country Top 40. I mean, it is truly about the hits. Mm. It is truthfully about the music. It is about the country artists. It is about the songwriters. So for the first time in my life, I've had to really realize this ain't about you anymore.
Yes,
This
yes.
is about the foundation and this legendary show that Bob and Nan Kingsley made, and it's my job to guard the door.
I love it. I love it. And you're a very humble guy, but you've had a chance to rub elbows with some of the biggest names in country music. We're going to show some pictures and slowly go through these. Okay, so let's start with this one.
What's up, Tay Tay?
Do you know what was the occasion? What was the occasion?
This was at my house. She wanted to come over and have barbecue.
Yes, of course.
You know, no, it was after one of her concerts, and I'll tell you what I told Taylor in a second. There's Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini.
Oh, my goodness.
That was right after Kelly Clarkson won American Idol. There's the king, George Strait, right there.
Oh, what was that like?
It was amazing. He told me that he gets his horses from pretty close to my little hometown in Decatur, Texas. And he smelled wonderful, like Old Spice. There's Luke. Luke is, you know what? He's one of the best there is. I mean, he has this song called Most People Are Good, but everything about Luke Bryan is just goodness. I mean, from God to the father that he is, to the husband that he is, he'll do anything for you. I just love Luke Bryan so much.
I bet it never gets old. I mean, when you get to meet these people, I mean, it's sometimes, like my wife was a movie critic for many years, and I think she started to get bored of Hollywood celebrities because it was every single weekend. Does it ever get old meeting these legends of music?
It does not, because especially when you watch sort of the growth and the how they start from beginning and then and how they rise, you're able to see how they change. So, sometimes does the industry affect them, right, as a personality?
Yes.
Or does it make them even more humble and more genuine? And I find that with country artists in particular, they are the most genuine people that you'd ever know in your entire life. Like, what you see is what you get.
Okay, finish the Taylor Swift stuff.
Okay, so when I saw Taylor Swift, I knew, I'm like, okay, I said to her, I don't know when I'm going to be able to see you again. So I want to tell you this right now. I said, please understand that you are our Princess Diana. You are our Grace Kelly. And I'm like, I love what you do for little girls. My daughters love you. They admire. And she goes, oh my God, we're going to be besties. I will never forget that. And I was like, you're right. How could you ever forget someone telling you, you are our Princess Diana, you are our Grace Kelly? So the next time I see her, I'm like, hey, you remember what I told you? How could she forget that?
Yeah, when Tay-Tay comes to the house. Just, now, I got to brag about Cory because even though he gets to hang around the rich and famous, the pictures that he really treasures are with his home team. Let's show some pictures and tell us what we're looking at.
That's my wife, Bethany, the mouth from the South. She's from Louisiana, former radio girl, and somehow I convinced her to be with me, and we've made 4 babies together, the latest set twins. That is my daughter, Drew, who is 10, and Cash Money. Cash is 9. He's an unbelievable basketball player. There's Bethany again. She's so pretty. There's my little hanker right there.
I love that picture.
I got so many babies now. I don't even. There's the twins. That is Drew. Excuse me. That is Bowie and Bodie, my twins, and they are 2 right now. And there is my mom, Mama Fitz, and that's Greenberry Bob. Served his country, the GBB we call him.
Wow.
And he still smokes like crazy.
Really. And you live on a property out in Weatherford, and you probably wake up with the sun coming up and thinking, God bless America.
That's exactly what I say. I walk out in my boxer shorts and I say, God bless America. And I wanted to be out in the country because, I've lived in big cities doing radio, most of my life. And when the pandemic hit, I was like, it's time. I do not want to be near traffic. I am out in the countryside where the deer and the antelope play.
Yes.
I feed the deer. I'm about to get chickens. I want to get 2 little Shetland ponies and name them Kitten Caboodle. Like, I want it right now. Just 2 little horses.
I love your childlike energy. And so, no, seriously. Okay, so Bob, how old was Bob when he passed?
Bob was close to 80 years old, I believe. Yeah. I don't know the exact, I think he was 80 when he passed away. 79 or 80 years old.
And you're a young man. How old are you?
What do you think?
I would put you in your mid-30s.
Oh my, come here. Come here. Same goes for you. We're both in our mid-30s.
Exactly.
Give me another one. I'm 44.
44. You look amazing. So like if you lead a good life, and it looks like you have an amazing family around you, you've got another 50 years to do this. So I'm gonna put this on your heart. Okay, Bob left a legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to leave?
My God, I want people to. I hope that they say when I'm gone that this is a guy who loved what he did. He loved performing. He loved playing the hits, and he loved his kids. And my God, he loved Texas.
Wow, that's a beautiful way to end this. It's a beautiful way to end the show. You're awesome. You're so amazing. We're gonna have to have you back again, and
please do.
We're gonna end with the website, which is ct40.com. The great Cory Fitz. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is great. We'll see you next time.